Hi organic mamas! Hi, my name is Katie. I'm here to talk to you today about organic grass-fed baby formulas. And ultimately, it's going to be kind of a buyer's guide. There's going to be some information that you already probably know, and then information that maybe you don't. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to give a little bit of a comparison between 4 different brands. And so those 4 brands are going to be Bobby, Little Spoon, Kendamil, and Munchkin. In my previous videos and some of the other videos on this page, we've talked about even more brands across the board, but these are the 4 that I'm going to kind of focus and hone in on today, because those are the 4 brands that I kind of picked up, in the grocery store. I could see that they're grass-fed, and that's really what I was looking for. They're also, all of them are organic, and that really matters a lot, especially since this is the Organic Mama YouTube, and I really want to ensure you guys that my research is there. I'm ready to talk about each of these brands and kind of what to look for, maybe what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and ultimately, if you're my friend, this is what I would be telling you. So we really need to talk about why grass-fed is even a thing. Aren't cows grass-fed anyway? That was like my first thought and reaction when I was like, why do things have to say that they're grass-fed? But there are reasons why some things say grass-fed and others don't. But I'm really going to talk about specifically, what does grass-fed mean? When you see that on a can, on a label, or even on your select choice of meats at the grocery store, that means that it has only been fed grass-fed since it weaned from its mother's milk. And we're talking about cows here. And so from when cows are weaned from their mother's milk, if it's grass-fed, and that is specifically on the label, then it is saying that that cow has only been fed grass or forage, which is pretty much, basically non-grain and no corn all its life. There's also another label you might come across that'll say pasture-raised, or grass finished. Those are not the same as grass fed. So pasture raised means that the cow, it had some time, usually towards the end of its life, or the end of things, where it gets to be able to be pasture fed or grass fed. But that doesn't mean that it was only fed grass its entire life after weaning. It's basically saying that sometime in its life it was grass fed. So grass finished, again, doesn't mean the same thing as grass fed. Grass finished means that at the end of its life, it was fed grass. So before that, it was probably weaned from its mother's milk, and then it could have been fed grain of some sort or corn. And so it doesn't have to have the documentation saying that it's grass fed. That's a different terminology. I found that via USDA website, but also a couple other, sources and things as I was researching, and I did quite a bit of research there. So you can be certain that when it says grass-fed on the label in the United States, that it really does mean that it was grass-fed. Another cool thing about grass-fed is that the cows are not in feedlots. They're not all scrunched together. They're allowed to roam the pasture. And that to me is a big deal. I'm not a vegan, and I'm not against, vegans. I've had family members that, that was their decision and they wanted to do that. But ultimately, I totally get it. I don't want another, living being or living thing to undergo stress and, just being uncomfortable. And it's really just not ideal. I really think when you are, raising animals, that they should be able to roam and be free and not be confined. So no feedlots if they're grass-fed, and they have to be able to roam the pasture. They have to be able to freely roam it pretty much whenever they wish. And I will say that with grass-fed, when they're on the pasture and they're grazing, I did see some research that shows they should have, the land should have about 30 to 50 days to recover from the grazing. So my hope is that whatever farms are, having cows graze the pastures, that they rotate and have different areas for the cows to do that. So it also can create a little bit more biodiversity. It's better for insects and other animals. So that's kind of my take on grass-fed and why I think that's just a great option in terms of why it would be a better choice instead of conventional when it comes to baby formulas. We're gonna step into that too, so we'll jump in there. Okay, so why does it matter if a baby formula is grass-fed? Well, the milk base, or the base of the formula, is milk, right? Whether it's skim milk or whole milk fat, it's milk. And so we want the best of the best for our babies within reason. And so grass-fed, it gives a greater nutritional profile. If it's whole milk fat, the fat profile is wonderful, and it actually has a lot of similarity to breast milk and the fat formula that it creates naturally. Of course, if you choose a skim milk, like only skim milk formula option, you are losing a little bit of some of the benefit or the closeness of breast milk in terms of the fat profile. And so usually if it's skim milk base primarily, then they're gonna have to add oils to it to help create or recreate that fat profile. It's not the worst thing, but just so you know, vegetable oils are not likely organic. And so even though a brand might say that the milk is organic, the fat or the vegetable oils that are used for the fat profile are not. So just keep that in mind in case that is something that you're really trying hard to get away from all pesticides and you really want just straight up organic. You want something that's going to have whole milk in it, because then it wouldn't have to be reduced to the vegetable oils and things like that. Okay, so third-party testing is also another quick little tidbit that I'll add here. I've done some research in terms of the Clean Label Project, and they are great when it comes to testing for toxins, contaminants, plasticizers, pesticides, all the things that you don't want in your food, let alone your baby's food. They test for so many different things, and all the formula options that I've listed today, they all in some capacity have been Clean Label certified. That's kind of an amazing thing. Not only are they organic for the most part, but they're also Clean Label certified. And if that's something that you really want to hang your hat on, then you've got it. So as you already know, when you're at the grocery store, there are so many different options. I mean, it's hard to even fathom why there could be so many options. On one hand, it's like, wow, that's great. So looking down the grocery aisle, it can really make you feel overwhelmed, a little stressed, especially if you have a baby on the way, or you're preparing for one, or you do have a baby and you're just trying to, make a quick pick, but you want to do it knowing that the things that you're looking for, you want to do it legitimately and, without just picking a random can. So good news is any formula can that you buy, you're not making a wrong choice, but there are, better options, better choices out there. So again, grass-fed, organic, we're looking at Clean Label certified, not just USDA organic, but also EU organic in some cases. And I love that because it passes not only the USDA's standards for certification, but also the EU's standards for certification. And as we have been finding out, the EU is stricter with their labeling and organic and testing. Okay, so let's talk about Bobby for a minute. We're gonna get into the formulas. Let's just go head first. We're gonna dive in. So Bobby was founded in 2018, about 8 years ago. So it's had some time to kind of get acclimated and, shift and change, and depending on what the FDA may require. Okay, so I was a little bit surprised to find that Bobby was both USDA and EU certified organic. I don't know why that surprised me, but it kind of did. Again, don't know why, but it's kind of a cool thing to find out. They are manufactured inside of the US, again, had some Clean Label certifications, and they do use both whole milk fat and skim milk. They do not include any of the nucleotides that are found in breast milk. So there's like 5 of them, and Little Spoon and Kendamil, they actually have all 5. Munchkin has 4 of the 5. So they're missing one of the nucleotides are found in breast milk. Again, Bobby has none, Munchkin has 4 of the 5, and then Kendamil and Little Spoon have 5. They have all 5 of them. If you're looking for what is closest to breast milk, Bobby's probably not going to be up there. They've got a lot of other things that they can boast about with their formula, but that's not one of them. Out of the 4 formula options, Bobby also does not have a prebiotic, and prebiotics do help with the gut microbiome for infants, especially since they're building that gut microbiome, they're building their immune system. So it was kind of disappointing that Bobby didn't have that. It's not the end of the world. There's a lot of other great things about Bobby, but they are missing a few things that, you know, would be nice if they had them. So next we're going to talk about Little Spoon. What I liked about Little Spoon is that they not only have infant formula, they have baby food, toddler snacks, kids meals. So they kind of support the baby age up until like the kid age. And so that was kind of cool. I know that we're really focused on grass-fed baby formula in this video, but I thought I'd throw that out there just in case any of you moms are hoping for, you know, something in regards to maybe what your toddler could consume, or if you have an older child. So Little Spoon was founded in 2017 in New York. They include both whole milk, fat, and skim milk in their formula, and they also are probably the cheapest right now, but there's kind of a caveat with that. So let me explain. Basically, Little Spoon cannot be found in stores at the moment. I'm sure that they're gonna get there at some point, but right now it's kind of a little inconvenient when it comes to accessibility. And so the other options I've listed, they can be found at Target. All of them can be found at Target except Little Spoon. So they are cheapest when it comes to buying online. If that's something you're interested in, I kind of recommend it just because you can buy in bulk. I have memberships to like bulk stores, and I kind of like being able to buy something and having it for a long time, so I don't have to keep going to the grocery store for the same thing that I know I'm gonna have to buy. I really like having that bulk kind of sense of things, and so if you're like me and you're looking for something like that, then Little Spoon would actually be an advantage. Actually, if you're a new customer, you get 2 free cans on their website. You just have to pay for shipping, and at the moment I believe shipping is about $9.99, and that's when I looked at their website recently. They also have options for 4 cans at a time, or even 8 cans. It might be more than that even, but I know that there's at least a 2 free can option for new customers, probably like when you're first signing up. And then there's the 4 can and the 8 can. That's pretty cheap in my opinion. Getting 2 free cans, you can't beat that. But again, accessibility, it's not really one of their stronger points. I do like that they have the option for buying in bulk, or if that's something that you're looking for. Little Spoon's milk is sourced from New Zealand. They are, of course, grass-fed, so all of their cows are, you know, raised on pasture, and they get grass from the time that they're old enough to eat it. So again, once they've weaned from their mother's milk. And then also with Little Spoon, they do have prebiotics. I love that. So I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to talk about different formulas that have prebiotics, just because I do believe in supporting the gut microbiome. And if I can do that for my baby, I'm definitely gonna choose that option. Little Spoon is also really open and transparent about what's in their formula, as well as like the safety standards, even the amounts of things found in their formula, you know, presence of heavy metals, things like that, which, by the way, just as a, you know, disclaimer, there is not a brand out there that can 100% say that their product doesn't have heavy metals in it if it's a product that at some point can be traced back to the soil and the earth. If a cow is eating grass, obviously it is getting that, you know, the grass is in the soil. So really what we're looking for as low level of heavy metals as possible. So just keep that in mind when, you know, if you're doing your own research and you're wondering why do they still have heavy metals? Well, it's found in our soil, and, you know, not all metals are inherently bad. With anything, there's a balance. There's, you know, there should be little amounts of things and not huge amounts of things. Obviously, if we're looking at, you know, not wanting any pesticides, We can control that most of the time, if not all the time, by choosing organic produce, choosing, organic on the labels of things, knowing that there's no pesticides in it. As I mentioned earlier, Little Spoon is also Clean Label certified in several different areas, actually even more so than a lot of the other options I've listed. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Kendamil. They were founded in about 2015. They are manufactured in the EU and then they're sold in the United States. This means because they are listed as organic, they follow both the EU and the USDA's standards for organic and the processes that occur. They use whole milk fat, but they also include skim milk as well. They are British/European grass-fed. That's where their milk is sourced. And then also Kendamil is manufactured in the UK. So if you're looking for a European manufactured formula, this would be a great option for you. Out of the other 3 formulas that I listed, there is one thing that Kendamil has that the other 3 don't. When it comes to iron, that is something that all baby formulas should have, especially since about that 6-month mark, they say that babies start to drop their iron stores from when they were in their mother's womb, and they actually include a different type of iron. They include iron pyrophosphate, and that is gentler on digestion. It is kind of an alternative iron, and what I mean by that is it's not as greatly studied as ferrous sulfate. It's still safe, and it's just not as studied or clinically studied as ferrous sulfate, but it is gentler on digestion. And so if you're looking for an option that has a gentler iron, then Kendamil would be a great choice. So the last infant baby formula that we're going to talk about today is Munchkin. The actual Munchkin brand, or the parent company, was founded in 1990. However, the infant formula line was not actually launched until February of this year, so 2026. They are fairly newer in terms of their infant formula line, and so it's not a negative thing for it to be newer, but I do like for products to have been tested over time and really stand up to the name. They are organic, except this is the one that I was talking about in the very beginning when it comes to if it's only skim milk. This one does not have whole milk fat, and so because it's only skim milk, there is a part of the formula that's not actually organic. The vegetable oils that they use to rebuild that fat profile, not organic. However, skim milk has been known to be easier on digestion. Munchkin also includes a FOS and GOS prebiotic, and so that kind of makes it easier on digestion as well. If your baby is kind of fussier and they have a lot of reflux, this might be something that you consider when you're choosing the best grass-fed baby formula for you and for what your baby needs. But just keep in mind, when it comes to mimicking breast milk, they are lacking in having that natural milk fat profile. So as I was talking about the oils, I was reminded that they are not soy-free and they are not palm oil-free either. So Munchkin does include soy, and that is one of the 9 top allergens. Keeping that in mind, it doesn't mean that your baby will be allergic to the formula. On the bright side, Munchkin is manufactured in Canada, and their milk source is from New Zealand. We're asking this question, truly, what makes grass-fed best or better than conventional? Why choose grass-fed? Why pay a little bit more when you could go with a cheaper option that isn't grass-fed, isn't organic? What's the deal, right? As I was doing research, the main thing I kept finding was that grass-fed is it has more essential nutrients. There's better, omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. A lot of our foods nowadays are really high in omega-6. and that can cause a lot more inflammation, whereas having a good balance between omega-3 and omega-6 is really important. So it doesn't mean get rid of omega-6 entirely, but having a great balance between the two is important for the body. And it also increases the level of what's called CLA, and that is conjugated linoleic acid. CLA is a healthy trans fat. It is actually an omega-6 fatty acid. And so again, omega-6 is not the bad guy here. It's just that balance there. And this particular omega-6 fatty acid can only be found in our diet. And so if we don't consume it, we don't have it in our body. And it is needed in the body. It's not necessarily what's called essential, but it is something that we do need in the body. And if we don't find it through our diet, we are lacking in that. Eating grass-fed, it has decreased harmful fats, free of or lower in antibiotics or hormones, and even benefits for the gut health. Grass-fed, it has so many different health benefits. You know, choosing that in your baby's formula, they're gonna reap those benefits. Ultimately, do what you feel at peace with when it comes to choosing the best baby formula. But if you're here on this page and you're really wanting to find an organic grass-fed baby formula, there are 4 great options I listed. Munchkin, in terms of having whole milk, they don't have that. And so the other 3 options do. When it comes to which one has better or which one has greater prebiotics, that would likely be Little Spoon and Munchkin. And then out of the 4, Bobby does not have prebiotics. So you can kind of weigh the pros and cons here. You know, across the board, again, they're all grass-fed, organic to some level, if not all, completely organic. Really, Munchkin's the only one that's not completely organic. And so you can kind of, although they're easier on digestion, honestly, this is where I leave it to you guys. And, you know, do your research, feel good about what you choose for your baby, and know that I'm just so proud of you mamas. I can't wait to chat again and give you guys more information. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and we will talk later. Bye.